So now Trump is claiming the Epstein files are a Democrat hoax? Lol. MAGA is dead. Good riddance. Crocken, it seems like blue states are constantly putting red states on life support, yet we got these little red states that ain't contributing nothing. At least finally someone said the quiet part out loud. Cause, you know, blue states are a lot more productive than red states. California alone has a larger economy than Japan. So yes, MAGA, California is actually productive and not a damn freeloader. Cause the only people freeloading here are red states. The Epstein client list is real, so is the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. Criticizes Trump daily for like a decade. Finally defends Trump on something? Oh, it's the Epstein list. I mean, hey, at least a good thing is that this whole situation is outing those types, regardless of political position, because of this. Ghislaine Maxwell willing to reveal Jeffrey Epstein's client list, but is being blocked by congressional Republicans, Daily Mail. If she says anything except, oh yeah, dear leader isn't in those files, she ain't gonna be able to say shit. And I mean, anyone with a brain knows that he was in the thick of it. Everybody knows. And only the ignorant or the ones in on it think anything otherwise. Release the files, real Donald Trump. Child fucker. Seems like Elmo's got more of a brain on him than all of those MAGA Twitter homunculi combined. Seriously, he said Epstein half a dozen times while telling everyone to stop talking about Epstein. Just release the files as promised. When the worst person you know makes a point that you agree with. A shitty broken clock can still be right twice a day. Doesn't make it any less shitty of a clock. Oh yeah, I know. Fuck this redemption talk for him. He's still a fucking Nazi. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, Elon Musk is still a piece of shit. Just because he's not a piece of shit compared to another big piece of shit, doesn't not make him a massive piece of shit. Oh yeah, not redemption. His own ego and his own selfish behavior is benefiting us plebeians because he's in a fight with Trump. Trump? I think you got that wrong there. I think you mean his ex-boyfriend. Enemy of my enemy, etc. But nobody would care if both of them went diving in a submarine or an early morning walk in Manhattan. Yeah, I always kind of believed the only thing driving Elon at this point is his own ego and his own narcissism. Oh my fucking god, I can't even. If the Democrats were pushing for the release, then I'm against it, at least with how they were trying to do it. Can't trust anything they ever do. Oh yeah, 100%. Wow, there's really no thoughts behind those eyes and those sunglasses, is there? They can't have a brain of their own. Only, Dem's bad, MAGA good. I follow dear leader until he tells me to drink the Kool-Aid. And then, I still do it. Trump, on video, tells the plan to steal the 2026 election by gerrymandering to stay in power. Reporter. Are you calling for a complete redraw of the Texas congressional map? No, just a very simple redraw. We pick up 5 seats, a couple of other states where we pick up seats also. Ah yes, literally moving the goalposts so you win. MAGA is so cool, and they're so pro-democracy, aren't they? Hey chat, if you have the ever so controversial opinion of thinking billionaires maybe shouldn't have a 5th yacht, you should totally like and subscribe, cause it helps this gay guy reading stuff a lot. And anyway, back to the video and have a great day. Donald Trump thinks we're idiots. Well, hey, that's at least one thing he's right on. You're all cult-like idiots. I could say it says gullible on the ceiling and you'd look up, even if we were outside. Buddy, you became idiots the moment you thought a failed businessman and sex offender was an answer for the country. While these bigots can't vote for anything that's not a straight white male. And they would literally vote themselves out of existence because they're scared of women. It's easy for influencers to change their tune when they get paid, but it'll be interesting to see what the cult thinks. Tim Pool took money from Russia for the Ukraine war opinions. No one should listen to him. Tim Pool took money from Russia. And I mean, so did a lot of MAGA shills. It became public, and he didn't lose a single listener. And that's why we're in this mess. All previous morals are excused when you're in a cult. I really don't know who did what to fuck up this timeline so badly. Like, you know, what happened to like basic human morals and a basic sense of humanity and accountability? Congestive heart failure? Trump has had random bruises on his right hand for months. This is clearly covered in concealer or makeup. Now his ankles are massively swollen in this picture taken at the FIFA World Cup. That's something as well, and no one's put any attention to, is the fact that Trump is actually, at the time of going into his second term, 2 years older than Biden was going into his term. And with how much they were yammering on about Biden being old, they've been awfully quiet about the obvious, Trump's age and his health. I would also note the Epstein files that have already been released show that Trump is all over the files. He's in multiple pictures with Epstein, there's multiple videos of Trump with Epstein, there's plane logs of Trump on Epstein's plane. Trump and his team also used Epstein's plane during the election. There is so much evidence linking Trump to Epstein that it boggles my mind the levels of cognitive dissonance that resides in the MAGA mind. The cognitive dissonance is a prerequisite for being MAGA. Yeah, here's a task for some of you MAGA watching this video. I mean, it'd be surprising if you've got this far, but just look in the mirror for a second and ask yourself, all of these photos, videos, and pieces of evidence that show Trump's association with Epstein, do you really think, especially after hearing the things that he said about women, he is not in those files? Like, genuinely, are you that far down the MAGA pipeline? Are you that much of a cult member? And hey, if after that answer it's just, the Epstein files were all just made up by the Democrats, and yeah, if you still believe that, I've got some land on the moon I can sell you. More US farms filed for bankruptcy in the first 3 months of 2025 than in all of 2024. The 259 filings mark the highest yearly total since 2021. Great job, Donald. Yeah, Donald is as much pro-middle class and farmers and working class as much as KFC is being pro-chickens' lives and not being eaten. Somehow, this is Biden's fault. Remember that time Obama wore a tan suit? This goes all back to that, somehow. Yeah, we're gonna need a few guys up here to help move these goalposts again. MAGA shill homunculi try not to do mental and political gymnastics challenge. Oh, never mind, they failed before it started. Absolutely insane that Democrats actually voted to have the US publish porn. What the fuck is even going on anymore? No one here wanted you to publish We want to know which monsters participated in those unspeakable actions for decades. We want lists, we want names, we want flight logs. Don't want whatever bullshit you guys are making up. All we want is facts. And the very obvious fact that your dear leader is a pedophile. The fact that these absolute brainlets are just allergic to looking at something head on and realizing, the other side might be right. Wait a minute, let me stop picking my nose real quick. These guys might be somewhat right here in saying that we should publicly know who these pedophiles are. But nah, they can't help but continue picking their noses and coming up with brain-dead takes like this, as opposed to living in reality. No excuse for pushing to release evidence that would traumatize victims all over again. All we want are names and justice. But you fucking idiots can't comprehend that. The backtracking spin right now is wild. Check cashed. Oh yeah, isn't Tim Pool that one guy that took a bunch of money from Russia to spew Russian talking points? Oh wait, I might just be mixing that up with like every other Republican. My bad. The machine is coming after me because I'm standing up for you. But I will not back down. I will hold the line. You are part of the machine, Nancy. I really don't know how MAGA are saying to themselves that despite them having a autocratic-like regime right now, there's still a Democrat shadow government that's controlling everything. Ah yes, because Democrats totally started that flood by creating an artificial hurricane using Hunter Biden's laptop that, was actually all made up by Obama in 2000 and something. Yeah. Give me a fucking break. Also, speaking of MAGA idiots, it's Looney Loomer again. I knew these videos were feeling a bit empty without her, but it's absolutely horrible to see her again. Yeah. House GOP blocks vote on release of the Epstein files. Does anyone care about the midterms anymore? What are we doing? Aw, she thinks that there's gonna be a fair midterms. How adorable. But hey, are some of those cogs turning in that hollow head of yours, Looney Loomer? Or is this just once in a blue moon? Didn't they set up their made a bitch by a billionaire bill to start destroying people's lives around the midterms? Even if they lose it, it's the perfect setup for Democrats to take the blame given the severe memory issues voters have. And all of this, only if they don't find a way to stop the midterms completely. The first really devastating cuts are set for after midterms. It seems an awful like they're doing a lot of the dirty work now, so if or when they lose the midterms, it can all be blamed on the Dems, and since Trump and MAGA think that 2 weeks is approximately the voters' memory span, they're probably gonna swoop in and win the next general, and Trump's gonna be sworn in president again. Oh, wow, there it is. Republicans just blocked the release of the Epstein files. So, for anyone keeping score, Democrats said, let's just release everything and see how it shakes out. Republicans said, not a fucking chance. My scoreboard was still on them saying, now the Epstein files don't exist at all. Or was, they exist but Obama wrote them after that. It's so hard to keep up with these morons. They're pulling a doublethink. It both exists and does exist, but was made by the Dems. Ever's most convenient is what's true, and whatever serves their agenda the best is fact. If they don't exist, then why don't they just vote to release them? Checkmate, atheists. I swear that this is real. Release the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. The fuck is going on with reality anymore? It's like the simulation had a patch installed and it just fucked everything up. Does CrowdStrike run on reality? I'm really perplexed as a Brit watching this. It's like a genuinely horrific joke. As the gay British guy reading you this, yeah, I resonate with this a lot. It's just not funny, and everyone involved is insane. It genuinely, to me, just seems like a combination of Idiocracy, 1984, and the worst parts of history, all combined into this mutant of a timeline. I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's some pretty boring stuff. I really think only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. Yeah, I don't think the failed Nepo baby businessman pedophile is really in a position to call anyone else a bad person. Trump says the MAGA supporters who want the Epstein list to be made public are a bunch of pretty bad people. We can't have a Trump presidency without him blaming his own base. But then the entire base just thinks that it's everyone but themselves that's the problem. God, I don't even think an Olympian could handle that amount of gymnastics. Mental gymnastics. The Trump admin has ordered 800 tons of emergency food aid, enough to feed 1.5 million malnourished children for a week, to be incinerated rather than be distributed. Yeah, MAGA, please answer this question for me. In what way is this pro-working people, middle class, or pro-lifting America up in any way? Is this great for you guys? Letting children starve? Just like Jesus. How Christian of him. Yeah, I think Trump is anything but Christian. MAGA, this is what Jesus would have wanted. Tax the billionaires and stop funding the MAGA circus. California crack up? Try again. California provides $83.1 billion, more than we receive from the federal government. Texas receives $71.1 billion more than they provide to the federal government. 71% of the US GDP comes from blue counties. Ah yes, and they're simultaneously the freeloaders, aren't they? MAGA can't help but live in La La Land and pretend that literally the most productive areas of the United States are apparently freeloaders. Like and subscribe if you don't live in La La Land, and share if you're fucking tired of that bullshit.